Hi. By the means of technical knockout, Bartek has left the chat. But do not worry, I am joined here in the commenting booth by Michał Lorenz. Say hi.
Hello, guys.
Hi. You could have heard him already on our streams, and he's been playing today. So yeah, we are going to see the semi-final match between Marcin Staciewa playing Gruul and Michał Szymarski playing Blue-Green Thief. So it's going to be a rematch of what we have been witnessing for the past hour. Let's hope this one isn't so grindy as the previous one. But yeah, this should be an interesting one. Both players are really good with their decks, are really happy with how their decks have performed today, and are hoping to repeat their today's success tomorrow at the MCQ. And I say success because, you know, this is the top 8 from a field of 76, which is a pretty good test of a deck, of any given deck. And the prize pool is really solid. 2,300 euros in prizes from Card Market, from Ultimate Guard, from MTG Spot, SPC Gear, Hrum.com, Okie Dokie Dice, Hobbity.eu, Świat Kawy i Herbaty, and Psychotog.pl. Marcin was the first seed overall after Swiss rounds of the tournament, so he is going to be on the play. So, have you ever played with any of these decks, or against any of these decks?
Yes, actually, I played both these decks in the Swiss rounds. So,
Against both these decks,
yes.
okay.
I like the blue-green deck a lot. I think it's a really nice deck in the field, and I'm rooting for Michał to take this one from Gruul.
Well, I cannot agree, since Marcin is my friend, so I hope that he takes this home. He allows the playset of Foil Teferi to stay home, so... but yeah, the blue-green thief deck is really cool. So we will see how it fares.
Who won the last one? Because you told us
Marcin.
that
Gruul.
they were playing in the Swiss rounds, or was
No.
it in the
The quarterfinals were between Marcin and another player who was also playing blue-green thief.
Okay. So how did the games go?
2-0 for Marcin.
Okay.
Where in the first game, Marcin also battled through 3 Nisas. Since turn 3. There was a Nisa turn 3, and then 2 more.
Okay. Actually, I was talking for a little bit with Marcin in between rounds, and he told me that he built his Gruul deck kind of grindy way. So I think he's prepared to win the long game more than the typical red-green aggro strategy. He has some siege ganks, Ripjaw Raptors.
Yes. It is a much more grindy deck than your usual Gruul build. So yeah, we will see how this goes. So Marcin with a slow start, just a forest, no elves, nothing. However, Michał is starting to ramp his mana up. Oh, just double forest, no red just yet. But we see there is a Rootbound Crag in his hand, so he should be fine for colors. We see 2 islands, we see Hydroid Crisis in Michał's hand. And he just jams in with this Llanowar Elf. Should indicate there is no 3 mana play. There's an Incubation Druid, something we did not see in the list of Robert, who played the quarterfinal match.
That's a really nice start from Michał.
Oh yeah, and then Marcin with Legion Warboss starting to gum up the board, which works really well in conjunction with Siege Commander, as we could have seen in the last round. Now Michał with the option to either steal it or perhaps play a Crosses for 3. There is a multitude of valid options here, but I think stealing the Warboss works pretty well. And there we go. Now he will start pumping out those tokens and attacking.
Okay, so how do you feel about this skip from Marcin? Only turn 3 Warboss without Llanowar Elves, without his 2 drops, without removal for the mana creatures. Do you think it's maybe too slow for this matchup, or is it okay?
I think based on what he saw earlier, he might have thought, oh, I need to be able to deal with the turn 3 Nissa. Not really worrying about the mana accelerants, but just being focused on this turn 3 Nissa. And there are multiple spell breakers in his hand. There is one on the board right now, and I think there is a second one, and there was also Ripjaw Raptor. So I think he was thinking about the Nissa more than just shutting off the mana acceleration.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
So now Michał is already, he will be at 6 mana, able to play his Crisis.
For 4, yeah.
Or maybe he's thinking about pumping his Druid.
Incubation Druid, yes,
Yeah.
that is also a valid option. It's a great blocker, and also adding 3 mana is significant.
Yeah, because he can just pump his Druid, add another, I think it's the 2 mana Paradise Druid in his hand, and go for the even larger Crisis in the next turn.
I think Michał is holding a Frilled Mystic in his hand,
Oh, okay.
so he might be thinking about keeping some mana open for... Martin is asking, does this resolve? No way in the world it does. So Gruul Spellbreaker is going to eat the dust, and now we've got 7 mana available. Let's see what happens with it. There is a Paradise Druid in hand for Michał. I think that playing a big Crosses would be kind of good on this board. I mean, Marcin is presenting nothing, and he's on 3 mana, and you are powering a 5/5 with flying, with trample, drawing 2 cards. I think that's good.
I think I would scoop my cards in this spot if I was Marcin.
You did scoop your cards today already, so you're the expert here.
Okay, so he goes this turn for the adapt.
And playing the Paradise Druid.
Yeah, so next turn he will have
A
access to
huge
5,
Crisis.
8, 9, 10, 11
Million.
mana if he has his land drop.
Okay, so let's see. That's a shock.
Yeah, so
That's-
kind of unfortunate top decks from Marcin. He kept his hand with 3 lands and I believe 3 drops and the Ripjaw Raptor, and he drew elves and shock, like these awkward draws that didn't really make his curve great.
And this turn, just a Llanowar Elf and kill my own Legion War Boss. That stings. That stings. And now we know what's coming, you and I. Island, it's 6 mana, it's 9 mana, it's 10 mana, 11 mana. 9/9 Crosses? Sounds good to me. I just jam it.
Come on, jam it!
Just jam it. Yep, there it is. That's
Okay.
enough. Okay, so he took your line. He scooped in response to Crosses.
Do you think he would scoop last turn?
No, that would be just a 5/5. Come on, a 5/5 we can fight through, but a 9/9. But you have to be happy when you're in Michał's shoes. He won the first game,
Yeah, being on the draw.
being on the draw against an aggressive build. Let's face it, because Gruul is aggressive. It can be grindy, but it is also aggressive.
Yeah, but the draw from Marcin
Was far-
wasn't great. It wasn't a great 7. And the draw from Michał, it was elf into another 2 mana dork into stealing my opponent's only threat.
Yeah.
So it lined up pretty well for Michał, and I'm happy that he won this one. So let's see what's in the sideboards for the players.
So, well, Michał Szymanski has a pretty spicy one. He's got Biogenic Oozes. I think those are coming in. another entrancing melody. Given how creature heavy this matchup is, I think this one is going to come in. 2 negates, I wouldn't think so. Plain white celebration if he plans to go a little bit more mana heavy.
Oh, he has 2 Ripjaw Raptors.
He has 2 Ripjaw Raptors.
That's
I
pretty
imagine
cool.
these are good.
Yeah. And with the mana acceleration, putting this one turn 3.
3 Thrashing Brontodons. Even though there is not much in Martin's deck that you can blow up, only a Sorcerer's Spyglass in the sideboard, I think these should be good because they're just great blockers. Last match, even though Robert, who was playing the Blue-Green Thief deck, lost, he had the Thrashing Brontodons in the sideboard and on the battlefield, and they proved to be a problem. There is also an Ugin and Vivian Reed. I don't think these two are so great in this matchup. So what does Marcin have?
Martin has some... I don't know these cards. He has some Brontodons, some Dire Fleet Daredevils, Vivian Reeds. He has some cards to go big, like additional removal spells, 3 Lava Calls, Shivan Fire. He has 2 copies of Living Twister.
That's the 2/5 with the ability to pick up lands and shoot them at the opponent.
Yes, some
Collision Colossus. So that's the +4/+2 or deals 6 to a flying creature.
Yeah.
I would
2
imagine
copies
that
of
comes
Vivian
in
Reed.
because of the crosses.
2 copies of Vivian Reed. So he has pretty much the go big plan in his sideboard.
Yep.
Thrashing Brontodons, Dire Free Devil, Sorcerer's Spyglass, and Mobilized District.
Mobilized District, I don't think this should come in.
So do you think he will go big or...
He will go big or he will go home.
Okay, let's see how that goes. And I actually think that Michał will bring a card like Ugin in this matchup, or maybe I'm crazy, because I think he doesn't want to rely on mass manipulation as his big spell and just wants to ramp up his Raptors or Ugin or some threat like this.
I could see that happening. It depends on whether he thinks he's got enough weak cards in the main board to just bring them in. Because right now, as I look at this list, I would be pretty happy just running my basic 60 without the sideboard. I mean, there are no bad cards here for this matchup. And maybe the Chemister's Inside you don't love very much, but you can just replace them with Biogenic Oozes. We will see, we will see. So right now our players are getting ready for game 2, which is surprising as it's been only 12 minutes. So it's a relief for all you fans at home watching today. And we should remind you that you should also be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central European Summer Time. So that's 10 a.m. CEST and 8 a.m. UTC. And we are sponsored by MTG Spot, Ultimate Guard, Card Market, SPC Gear, Hrum.com, Okie Dokie Dice, Hobbity.eu, Świat Kawy i Herbaty, and Psychotalk.pl. Thank you very much, guys. You are amazing and unbelievable, and your support made all this possible. The site is already being prepared for tomorrow, because tomorrow there will be a lot more than 100 people battling it out to get the chance to play at the Mythic Championship in Barcelona in July in the modern format with cards from Modern Horizons.
Okay, so Marcin, he has his 7 already, right? I think he kept. Let's see, maybe he has some. He has a faster start this time.
Perhaps a little more aggro.
Marcin, oh no, Michał has like some Land of Elves, Crisis, and some lands. Okay, so now we have start.
Yep.
Both players with Land of Elves.
All right, let's see what's the next play. I see a Growth Chamber Guardian, some removal. No, I didn't see. There is a Lava Coil. I would be happy if I had the Scroll Spellbreaker here, for example. That would be really nice. But, you know, a 2-drop is also fine. I just jammed this Llanowar Elf into the opponent's face because I dare him to block. I'm fine with him blocking. I want to cut him off fast mana, so fast mana. Yeah. As if it was really that fast. Here's the Spellbreaker. A 4/4 with trample. Always nice. So, is there another Accelerant in Michał's hand? Looks like there might be. Another elf. Okay, that's not a Paradise Druid, but then again, you are playing only a 2-color deck, so no need for any more colors of mana. Yup, just straight to the face. 16. And what's the next play? What do we do next? Do we just kill both Mana Dorks? I think we might. No. Kill one of them and play a Grove Chamber Guardian.
And you can see that's already a great start from Marcin.
Yeah.
This is his turn 3. When the last game, turn 3, it was only Legion War Boss and no interaction. Now he has a great board with 4/4 and Semi-Grove Guardian ready to adapt next turn. Already took care of one of the Mana Dorks, and now
And look,
Michał.
he's forcing Michał to play Crosses for 2. This is really good. I'm really happy to see this when I'm in Marcin's shoes.
So 2 lands, and I don't know what's the spell in Marcin's
Lava Coil.
hand.
There is another Lava Coil.
Okay.
Marcin doing the illegal move, hiding the Llanowar Elf among the lands.
Okay, so
He will adapt the Grove Chamber.
and now I think he still goes for the Lava Coil.
On the elf.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Instead of
just
oh no, actually he develops another creature.
okay. That is also fine.
A lot of lands in Michał's hand.
Well, this deck is kind of... How many lands do they play? That's 18, 22, 26. Okay. That's 5 mana. That's a Nissa. It will not survive very long.
That's a 3/3 in a world of 4
4/4s.
force, so not great.
It's a sad, sad world for Nissa. But he will jam in for 3. That's kind of free, so not surprised. No surprise there. Okay, let's see what Marcin draws, what he does. That's just an elf up the top. I would just jam my 4/4s into the Nissa.
Yeah, so now Nissa will buy some time for Michał.
Yeah, it's just buy life. That's just it.
Yeah, the problem is Marcin, even though his hand is 2 lands and a Llanowar Elf, he still
draws a
he
Grove
can
Chamber.
adapt, draw another 4/4, and now has this string of pressure going on.
So no blocks even. He just says, fine, take it. It's yours. So will we adapt the Grove Chamber now? No, we'll play it Llanowar Elf. And a Siege Gang Commander.
Okay.
That's a tremendous board.
That wasn't a land.
That was not a land. And this is a very dire situation. I mean, Michał would need a small miracle here to stabilize. Grove Spiral might be... it might not be enough to help combat this. So we are at 1-1 after only 20 minutes. This is a tremendous success.
And very, very fast draw from Marcin really showed us what this deck is able to do and why is he now here in the
In the top 8.
in the top 8. Because
Okay.
game 1 he didn't show us much. Let's
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah, that was pretty miserable.
Okay, so game 3. Now Michał will be on the play with his explosive ramp deck.
But
So-
to Marcin's credit, previous round, both of the games, he was behind from turn 3 onwards. and he still managed to pull through. So he's been doing a clinic today. So, you know, there's always like a 10% failure rate in these decks, so it's okay. One time might happen, but it won't happen anymore.
Yeah, I don't believe Marcin will keep the same hand he did game 1 in game 3 on the draw. No. I would love to know how did Michał sideboard for this matchup, because it's the deck list is really fun and the deck is interesting, but I never played it, and there are some decisions to be made during sideboarding, and I would love to know
We can play it
which
on Arena
cards.
today,
Okay.
after we come back, and if we don't fall to sleep immediately. Uh, Say something funny. Entertain the
No.
people. Why
No.
not? Are you not an entertainer?
Not at all.
So who are you?
I don't know.
Are you having an existential crisis right now?
Yes, after going 4-3.
I
Yes,
mean, Michał,
that's exactly.
Michał went 3-0 today, and he felt pretty good about his poor deck choice.
I mean, my deck was fine. Come on.
Yeah, the deck is okay. I'm just, you know, throwing a friendly jab.
As per
and
mid-range, that's the perfect 55% deck, and I went 4-3.
he
so
went
that's
3-0, and then 3-3. We've all been there. You get your hopes up, you are almost there, but not quite. We've all been there, so spam some Fs in the chat for Lori.
Okay, so are they mulliganing or?
I
what is
think they're
happening
still
now?
shuffling. It's still shuffle cam.
Okay, so what's the fastest draw you saw from the blue-green deck
From the blue-green deck?
today?
Today, it's pretty easy. Turn 1, Llanowar Elf. Turn 2, a tap land, followed by a Paradise Druid. Turn 3, Nissa. That's pretty easy.
And what after that? Like a
You
big
can
crisis? or-
after Nissa, you can just jam out like manipulations. Like the biggest manipulation I saw from Michał was for 8, but he told us that he played a manipulation for 14.
That's a lot of permanents
That's a lot of permanence.
on the other side of the board.
It is. Okay, now let's see the last opening hands of this match. Michał is taking it slow. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a good hand.
What was the last card? The
Uh,
blue one?
The blue one.
Manipulation and the last card.
Manipulation and interesting melody, I think. Might be. I don't know. I think.
Is it Nisa maybe?
Nah.
Or
Michał, show
is
us
it
the last
Ugin?
card.
I think it's Ugin.
It might be Ugin. Yeah, it might be Ugin. He's not happy. And Marcin says he will keep. Don't do that. Don't look at the top. Never do that. You only jinx yourself. Back to shuffle cam we go.
And Marcin with the mulligan. I think he had like
Oh, he mulligans.
he
Okay,
had
that was
two under with some. I think he had a hand pretty much the same as game 1. So no 1-drop, no 2-drop, 2 lands, siege gang, and some 3 drops. So easy mulligan for him.
So right now we had a silent stare and, you know, just facial expression exchange as we try to figure out something to entertain you with. So perhaps we shall just tell you that we are sponsored by MTG Spot, and Ultimate Card, and Card Market, and SPC Gear, and Room.com, and Okie Dokie Dice, and Hobbity EU, and Świat Kawy i Herbaty, and Psychotalk.pl. And now, a live reading of Magic the Gathering Comprehensive Rules. You may begin. Okay, so I see there is a Collision Colossus in Marcin's hand, so that's the anti-Crosses technology. I see a couple of lands, a couple too many perhaps even. On Michał's hand, did you see what he had? There was an interesting melody on top. All lands? Is that all lands?
He had the Raptor, I think.
He had a Raptor, okay.
So it's an instant keep.
It's the keep, just
Yeah.
a Raptor, yeah.
Raptor
Lands and
and
Raptor, yeah.
no, he had. I think he had Melody as well.
Okay, and Marcin will scry to the top or bottom, or there's a Lava Coil. That's a solid interactive spell. There might be an elf as well. Let's draw. There is another coil. There is a mountain. So no elf.
So double coil for Marcin, but it won't match up great against the draw of no mana dorks
Mm-hmm.
from Michał.
But there is a Thorn Lieutenant. It's
Yeah,
a pretty great card.
I think Michał will just go turn 4 Ripjaw Raptor into turn 5 Ooze and
Yeah, that
and-
might take over the game.
yes. But let's see. Maybe Marcin can.
We jam
come
in
with
for 2,
I don't think he's. holding.
and then Guardian. That's fine. Tap land, go. And let's see. Does he play the Raptor? Yes, he does.
And Guardian is so cool against this deck because you're not facing any removal. You know it's just gonna grow and
Yep.
find another one. It will never die in response to the adapt.
And now with this Collision Colossus, you can even trade any of your 2 creatures for this creature.
Że jest dużo lepszy niż ten lieutenant właśnie, bo to jest ten sensor.
I don't know if that's an efficient trade because collision is +4 +2, right? Okay. So
So you
maybe he will jump with only
Thorn Lieutenant.
Lieutenant and
Yep.
trade here.
He still gives Michał a card, but he gets this problematic Rapture off board.
Yeah, but Marcin, his draw is so awkward. He can't. I mean, he can double spell, but it will be Land of our Elf. He will attack, Collision Colossus. He has these 2
He has
lava
an answer.
coils.
Yeah, he has an answer to the Ooze
Stra-
and the Oozling. Do you block here? Something fishy is going on.
I mean, if you're not blocking, Marcin will just develop his board because he can. If you don't block, he can just adapt or do something with his mana. It's not like he's not
So he
gonna
uses
play
the
his
trick?
trick and do nothing.
We are playing limited now.
I dostanę kart.
So yeah, 1 life less for Michał. Well, let's play the land. Let's play. I think that Rootbound Crack should enter the battlefield untapped because. Oh no, it did, but then he played the elf. Okay, that's all fine. So there's the Ooze. Now Michał is counting on no removal, please, no removal, please, no removal, please. Unfortunately for him, there is removal. 2 pieces of it.
3 karty, tak?
So
There will
now
be. Yeah, I think you just double coil.
you can double coil, or you can coil just the big ooze and attack and adapt with the Guardian. So that's probably
can,
what
yes.
Marcin is thinking now. Or attack, and after there's no blocks from the 3/3 use, develop your your Ghoul. What's the name of the?
Grove Chamber Guardian,
No, the
Guru Spellbreaker.
yeah, this guy, the Spellbreaker. So I think he will coil the big ooze, attack with
The Papa
just
Ooze.
the Guardian.
Mhm.
And now let's see, because there's he can just hit him for 2 after there's no blocks, and you can safely play your Spellbreaker, because from the blue-green deck, it's not like he's gonna
Yeah.
untap and kill your Guardian. It will adapt next turn, so that's no problem for Marcin.
Yep. And the Spellbreaker comes in as a 4/4, so blanks the 3/3 token. And let's see, more lands. So any entrancing melodies,
I
perhaps,
think
from Michał?
there's Crassus.
There is a Crosses, yes.
And it's a 4/4, so it's a nice.
And it's even a shiny variety. So that's obviously better than any regular Crosses. So kudos. And the Crosses come in packs. So the Crosses found another Crosses. Non-shiny variety.
And the
this time.
patient from Martin shows here, he didn't use his lava coil for the 3/3 ooze. Now he has lava coil to take care of the crisis, and now he has 4/4s to combat through the 3/3. So it's a really nice sequence from Martin. He's going in, and Michał has no good blocks, I believe. He can take 8 now. Go to
I think
7.
he has to take 8.
Yeah. I mean, he's thinking about something, so he is thinking about blocking just to prevent some damage, but it only makes sense if you're expecting more removal spells and you're expecting that your ooze holds no value later in the game, which I don't think is the case with Marcin with only 1 card in hand. But he's thinking about it. Also, the ooze is better if you leave it on the battlefield, because we know that there's second
Second
biogenic ooze in his deck. So if he drew the second copy, then the token will grow to 4/4, and next turn it can trade instead of just chump blocking. So there is some value, even though it's only 1 outer for him to hit the second ooze. And he goes for the
Adapt, yep.
blah, blah. What's the... Oh, so he was at 17 because we didn't.
Yeah, he took 1 trample damage from the Spellbreaker a turn earlier.
So that's...
No, it was from the Thrash Threat. No, Collision Colossus. The +4/+2 trick. The 1 damage trampled over the Ripjaw Raptor. That's where the 1 damage came from.
So I don't know if I like this block. Going from 13 to 9. Okay, and now what's his play? I think he has 7 mana, so now he can play his Crisis.
5/5 crosses.
Now it blocks well, and the next turn he will have access probably to 8 mana and access to
Steal
mass
2
manipulation.
permanents.
Yes. Okay, so that's a 5/5. He gains some life.
Draws some cards. There
There's
is an ooze.
There's the ooze. So he drew the only card in his deck that made the chump block with the first ooze kind of bad, I think.
Okay, what do we do now? Do we just jam? I mean, it seems kind of bad now. The longer the game goes, Michał seems more and more likely to win.
I mean, he has an attack with the
Lord Lieutenant.
Yes. If he has 6 mana, I don't know if there's a land in.
There
yeah,
is.
there's a land. So he has free attack for 2 because Michał is not blocking here. He goes to 13, and now he can develop board some more with the Guardians. Oh, he's thinking about the all-in attack. Like, there's, if he attacks with all of them, Michał takes. He can put Michał down to 5 with this attack, but I don't know if he can manage to
Close out the game.
yeah, close out the game this way. So I think now he attacks for 2 for free, and develops board even more. Hopes that Michał will brick next turn, and next turn he will go for the all-in attack. So now Michał is thinking, okay, the only upside,
Two Growth Chamber Guardians.
yeah.
Go. Do your worst. And do his worst he will.
So he can steal the two 4/4s
Yes.
from Marcin. He will be left with the Thorn guy,
Thorn Lieutenant
Thorn
and
Lieutenant.
two Guardians.
2 guardians and an elf. So
Yep.
there's no hand, no cards in hand, right? For Marcin. I think Michał is in a great spot to take this one from your guy.
Your guy.
Yeah,
Is Michał your guy?
I told you before the match started.
But
I'm
is
rooting for the
is he
blue-green.
from Warsaw?
No, he's not. We played once. I think I crushed him.
Oh, easy. Marcin crushed me at the first game day I attended. He was playing Blue, Red, and Soul Artifact, which I hated him very much for. Because Blue, Red, and Soul
look at
Artifact
this.
was a...
So Michał is actually going to steal what's the name?
Eldek TV, Michał ma gierkę w garści, nie potrzebuje jeszcze więcej wsparcia. Yeah, it seems like it. Seems like, because it says that Michał has it. He doesn't need any more support. He doesn't need any more help. Yeah, I think he does.
Well,
I think that's pretty true.
I mean, he stole
The Thorn Lieutenant instead
Thorn
of the
Lieutenant.
Growth Chamber Guardian.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad play. It's just I was expecting him to just steal the 4/4s, because now there's maybe some insane draw from Marcin that can kill him this turn. But because
Okay.
all he has is tapped 2/3, and he gave him 1/1 that might be actually relevant when he's at 13 and the damage is dealt in force. Okay, are there any outs? Because if Marcin drew, let's say, Vivian Reed, he plays it, he kills the Crazies, he has still no attacks. Okay.
If he drew Siege Gang Commander, nothing changes. He just has 1/1s on the board.
Okay.
No, it's pretty hopeless. But he's found his way out of worse situations, so I wouldn't count him out just yet. By the way, I love this feature with Twitch comments popping up. I want more of them.
Okay, so Marcin is making all-out attack. He wants to put Michał as low as he can and maybe top deck Siege Gang or some shocks or whatever, or lightning strikes to take him down.
So do you just adapt twice? Elo Skisły. Say hi to Skisły.
Elo Skisły.
Elo Skisły.
Mordeczka.
To co, to się skrócimy?
Ja jeszcze sobie tak,
No,
sobie jeszcze szukam.
poszukaj sobie, jest nice.
So 6 damage, so he will be at 7 now.
Oczywiście spójrz. Chcę sobie poszukać jednego gołębca. Dostanę za 4, 5, 6. Będę na 7.
Tak się starasz.
On jest na ręce oczywiście.
Tak, tak.
Clear communication between our players. Nothing left, you know, ambiguous.
Przynajmniej gramy Magic.
Okay, now Michał, I think, has access to biogenic ooze.
Yep.
Yes, that's the
Yes, he
yeah,
does.
and he has 9 mana, so he can make.
A token.
Tyczka.
I don't know if he has enough green mana, but
Uza.
yeah.
So now he will attack for 7, grow the oozes. I think you attack for 7, right? There's no downside.
I don't know. Maybe there's some crazy cards you can expect.
I don't think so.
Red green.
Po prostu przejdę do end stepu, położymy.
He's already used his combat trick. I wouldn't expect more. Okay,
No,
he
he's-
doesn't attack. All right.
He's not attacking.
He's at 7. I mean, I see why he's worried. And these oozes give him the win in the long run. It's just straight up.
I mean, now the ooze is doing essentially what Marcin Holdek is doing. So
Yeah, pumping out big
every
creatures.
turn you're making a 3/3,
Yep.
and Marcin's deck is a bunch of 3/3s.
Yep.
So that's, I guess, the winning strategy here.
3 3s. Okay. So if you are going to play the MCQ tomorrow, remember, the winning strategy is 3 3s.
Na Uza i na zwykłego tokena, czyli miałem 9 man, prawda? 5? Czyli nie dogrywam man.
Okay, Michał is thinking, what kind of crazy card in this format can I get hit with and still lose this game? So can I attack here?
No, but I can
So-
draw some cards.
Okay, there's the
Crosses.
crosses, so I think he will be at 10 this turn. Okay, he's thinking if it's worth to put untapped breeding pool to take some damage.
Power out some
Yeah.
enormous crosses. I think you do it. Yeah. I think all the burn is in the sideboard now, so
I mean, Michał is thinking now, okay, I have 99.6% to win this game, so now I want to make it 99.8.
7.
No, to prawda. To
Okay,
prawda.
by making it perfect. So I'm gonna think about this breeding pool.
Co mówi też moje mety, czy nie?
Słyszałem dodanie
Ja
głosu,
w ogóle się
ale
odciąłem,
ale
wiesz?
jesteś trochę bliżej, więc myślałem.
Nie, ja się kompletnie odciąłem, wiesz, bo nie zastanawiam się, co mam tutaj zrobić. I to jest dla mnie bardziej istotne.
I mean, there's some hard math here.
Yeah. I mean, you can take off your shoes if you need help.
This is why you scoop in some spots. Okay, so he decided no, 2 life is not worth it. I'm gonna play my crosses a little bit smaller.
4, 5, 6.
Or not at all.
9, 10, zagrywałeś jednego, miałeś 9 poprzednie, miałeś poprzedniej to za 9, teraz dograłeś 10 i teraz...
Okay, so I guess.
Tak, no tak, masz rację, nie wygrywałem więcej nawet.
Okay, so Michał was thinking so long about the breeding pool. I think he forgot that it was a land he wanted to play with the
Growth
growth
spiral.
and he asked the judge if that was his natural land drop or was it his growth spiral land drop. So that's what he was asking for.
Mhm.
Okay,
There's another ruse. And there should be another ruse on the way as well.
isn't it 3 green mana to make a
I
noose?
think 4. Oh,
No, but
it's
green,
3
green, green.
Oh,
So
might be. I know, I never play with the card. Never had it in the limited, never put it in the constructed deck. I just know what it does, more or less.
oh, and he didn't make the land drop. No, he made the land drop. Okay, that's all fine.
Okay, so what do we get? A siege gang.
Well,
Changes nothing.
well, it changes something because now
can block the oozes.
Michał would be at virtual 1 life next turn. But we know that there's Crisis in his hand.
Yeah.
So now, if there wasn't Crisis in Michał's hand, he's at virtual 1 life and the top deck
Mountain. Top deck-
lightning
No,
strike or
he would be dead
oh yes,
with
because
mountain draw.
yes, of course.
To nie jest duża
Because he has 2 mana to activate it end of turn, so that's great.
Jak z tego wyjdę.
Marcin doesn't know yet.
To jest kosmiczne,
He
I
naprawdę.
mean,
doesn't know
we-
yet. He's so happy. He's
Zliczyłem tego.
sitting pretty confident.
Dokładnie nie myślałem, że go dobierzesz.
Okay,
It's
just
gonna be
jam it.
It's gonna be heartbreaking.
Jam it.
We already know it's gonna be heartbreaking.
I mean, is there Crisis in his hand or not? Because
Yeah, there is.
so
1, 2.
that's 2 mana.
Come on, just play the land.
I mean, I think
He's toying with him now.
These guys have
You
to
are
be
playing
friends.
with your food.
no. It's slow rolling your friend is okay.
But they are.
Are these guys friends?
I think they play each other for the first time.
Uh, somebody might punch someone here.
Będzie dużo teraz. Czyli 7 ma na
Okay.
Nie, Boże, z 9 kartami. Biorę 4 karty.
Okay, so he goes up to 11, right?
Yeah. I mean, Marcin is still not dead.
Raz, dwa.
I mean, Michał is playing this way only
And he drew
because
another crosses.
Yeah,
Of the crosses.
if he didn't draw crosses on his last draw step, he would probably attack Marcin and close the game out in 2 attacks. So he's only playing this way because he wants to be extra safe and he knows there's always another crosses in his hand. But at some point, I think he should just swing and kill
Get this
Marcin.
over with.
Yes, and not give him false hope because I mean, a man has his soul torn out in moments like this.
Yeah.
Marcin gonna end of turn.
It's the magic equivalent of let's just stay friends. No, you don't get it?
No.
Never been friend zoned. You're not a true magic player.
Okay, now we're thinking. Marcin is at 20. I have 40 power on the board. What to do? What to do? I mean, this is why people spam your go on Magic Arena. It's spots like this when you play this dude and you just spam your go.
Oh yes.
Your go. Your go.
Nice.
Come on, maybe just 5 in the air for safety. And next turn.
For safety.
No, he just goes to the.
To the end step.
Yeah. And again, this is only because he knows there's another crisis. Maybe he's thinking Marcin is a madman. He might play Felter or I don't know
What?
I don't know, some kind of card that makes creatures
2 to the
that-
face. I love it.
don't have flying can block.
Oh, Cosmotronic Wave.
Oh yeah, something like this.
I would jam it. Oh wow. Is there anything in Marcin's?
There's absolutely nothing. Me.
There are more goblins with that Legion War boss. But I don't think that's gonna be enough.
I mean, if there was
No crosses number
Yes.
3.
again, this is a spot created by the fact that Michał has another crisis going on, so he's playing this extra super strategy of sitting back and doing my stuff and not killing you. But I think he can get punished for that. I mean,
Yeah,
at
he's
some
playing-
point you
he's
have to
just
close the game out.
too reactive. You have to
I
sometimes.
mean, I wouldn't call it reactive. He's not reacting to anything. The board is his. It's his game to win, and he's
His to
just
lose.
being passive.
Yeah, it's his
Just
game to win,
all-
also his game to lose.
All
you
it
know?
takes is 2 swings with his 6/6 creatures
Or the 9/9.
or whatever. So
Mhm.
now he's gonna. And in this spot, like when you're 99.8% to win, you often tend to overthink stuff. Like you are trying to play around some crazy combination of cards that's gonna kill me, and you forget that hey, I can just dodge all these outs my opponent might have in his deck by just killing him. So Michał is in this situation.
Killing your opponent usually works. That's a good strategy to utilize in the game of Magic the Gathering.
And to Michał's credit, he's doing it because he knows he has access to another crisis, and he knows that he can play this game. Because let's say with this 9/9 crisis, he would not find another one. He would probably swing because he knows maybe he won't draw another one, and he wants to close the game out before this siege gang commander gets him. Okay, so there's gonna be
A crosses for 10.
yes, and 1 mana left for Lanovar Elf for extra safety 1/1 blocker in case something crazy happens. No, it's gonna be 1 counter more.
He's playing.
No, it's not. Yeah, 1 counter because the 1 mana.
He's playing around Force Spike, or is it just non-creature spells?
I think Marcin is empty-handed. His mouse is on his emotes is spamming your go.
Your go.
Kompletnie go nie
It is his go.
I mean, when you're gonna talk to Michał, please ask him what was the crazy card he was playing here, or maybe he's just.
We're just gonna go straight to the finals. We're not gonna have time to chat.
You know, it's semifinals, right?
Yep.
So
And you are playing for a pretty big prize pool. I mean,
yeah,
next game you are playing for a playset of Teferis, which is like 1,000 zlotys. Come on, that's significant. You know what's also significant? Lethal flying attack.
okay. What's the card? Mobilized District.
It's a land that turns into a 3/3 and costs 1 less for every legendary permanent you control. I mean, yeah. Okay, so shoots for 2.
Oh, I know how Marcin can punish Michał so good. Oh my god, it would be glorious.
Come on.
He can top deck Dire Fleet Daredevil, target mass manipulation, take the crisis and another crisis,
Whoa!
kill him with his flyers that he wasn't able to kill
That
him with.
requires a lot of mana. Marcin
I
has.
mean, he has 7 mana now,
Yeah, so it's
So-
a mass manipulation
okay.
for a half.
so he can only take 1 creature.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he could entrancing melody for the
Yeah.
biggest crasses.
So that's I mean, I'm trying to think about the line that actually will punish Michał for his extremely cautious play, extremely passive play. Maybe it's the better word here. And looking at Marcin's sideboard, there's Dire Fleet Daredevil to flashback mass manipulation. That would be great.
Like, we don't need no attack steps. Come on.
And there's Vivian Reed that can kill the big guys, but
Dziękuję.
He just extends the hand. So Michał, even though he did not utilize any combat steps in his in any of his turns, he picks up the W and moves on to the final. Okay, so we are going.
My guy won.
Yes, you are better. Yes, you are
Blue
better.
green won. I'm happy.
Yes,
Happy for Michał.
he is officially the winner. Okay, we are going to be back with more Magic with the final round of today in just a couple of minutes. Be right back.